So as you know, as part of my real challenge to this 12-week challenge, part of it is to do it without any supplements.
Yes.
So is it possible for me to reach my goals without having supplements, without having the protein powders, the creatines, exploding, all that stuff that they try and sell you?
Okay, I think, Cody, it is possible, definitely.
Yeah.
If you have good nutrition and a balanced diet, and you know what your food is doing in your body and why you need it, I think it's definitely possible. Okay, you'd need a supplement. Just say you walked into a health food store or something, and you, speaking from personal experience, I do quite a lot of running and cardiovascular fitness. So I take extra electrolytes, and that's things you can get in animal products like meat and milk, and yogurt and things like that. But I take an extra magnesium and sodium and potassium powder because I do a fair bit. I have more muscle contraction, so there's a higher chance that I could cramp, have muscle soreness, dehydration and things like that. So I certainly don't have a lot, but if you're like an Olympic triathlete or something, I would strongly suggest you would have something extra like electrolytes. You may need extra protein on top of that as well, because that's your job, that's what you do. So at the end of the day, if they have a balanced diet and eating as much as they can, but then they're doing so much exercise that they experience muscle wastage, that's when it's definitely needed.
Okay, right. So I guess in that situation then, unless you're competing at quite a high level, because I mean that's what you do, like with your marathon runs and stuff, like that's pretty high level stuff. Yeah. It's not like a jog around the block. So you need electrolytes. I mean, in that case, if you're jogging around the block, then just the diet by itself is fine. But because you're taking the running to extremes, then you would need to go on the supplements. Yeah. So, but then having said that, like, why can't you just have more food? Is there a reason for that? Is there like a limit to how much your body can actually take? Is that why you can't have huge amounts of food? Or?
Well, at the end, like I was explaining before, I guess if we go back to you, Cody, and saying if you have the base of what you need, and then we're going to try and add more protein because you're doing a lot of weight training and you're going to need it. That's just the same as saying, just say an Olympic triathlete has eaten everything they actually need during the day, and we don't want them to gain weight because it's going to make them more difficult to do their job. But the only thing they need is protein. So you completely isolated protein in a powder form that's easy to consume, and it's very high in protein. So does that make sense? So we don't want anything else in it. We don't need, so if you to have another big massive steak, you'd be then including more fat. It's higher in fat, it's higher in other things as well, and it's not just protein. It takes more digestion. It could cause stomach upset if they need to go and then exercise straight after it. So basically it's just like picking something special off the shelf and saying, no, this is actually just what I need.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like if you were more like a machine, which I guess those elite athletes kind of are. They're more like machines, where everything is kind of well documented and all their nutrients is well taken care of.
Yeah.
That they do have to have just that particular nutrient instead of having the whole meal in order to get the right nutrients to balance up everything else.
Exactly.
Okay, but then I guess supplements would also come in handy where if you were completely depleted. So if you were like an average person, but if you had, I don't know, some kind of some problem with your health, then you would need the supplements.
Yeah, like just say a lot of people have really low iron and they eat lots of red meat and foods that are high in iron,
but
they can't absorb it. There's certain reasons as to why some people can't absorb iron as well as some other people. So that's when you would suggest them taking an iron tablet or a liquid iron or something like that, because it's important for their health and they can't actually do it themselves.
Okay, right. So in that respect then, so if me with this challenge of not going on any supplements is okay for me because, well, at least as far as I understand my body, I'm okay. Like I'm not completely depleted in iron or anything like that, so I won't need to take the supplements in order to compensate for the lack of iron. And also on top of that, I won't need to take the the sports supplements, I guess you call it, because I'm not kind of training to an extreme level either. Like I am training above average, but it's not to the point where I'm competing, so I won't need to take the supplements there again. So I guess, well, as far as I understand, like I'm an average person.
Yeah.
And so by that definition, I don't need to go on supplements.
Yeah.
Unless I started taking it to an extreme level.
Exactly.
Or unless I started becoming fully depleted in a certain nutrient.
Exactly.
But if I had a well-balanced diet, it shouldn't happen.
No, it shouldn't. And especially because this amount of training that you're doing is over a fixed period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're saying, it's not your occupation, and it's at a level where it's not so extreme that your body would become too depleted and anything. And with proper assessment of your diet, and it is balanced enough, and it includes as many things as possible, then there's no need for you to take anything extra.
One of the things that I'm a bit concerned about not having any supplements is the protein powder, because as far as I understand, your protein powder, when you're taking it, like after your workout, your body absorbs it a lot faster because it's kind of pre-digested. Whereas after a workout, if you try and have a steak, then your body isn't able to absorb the protein in the steak fast enough for your body to be able to take advantage of the protein so that it can start building muscle. So, what would you say in terms of, like replacing, your protein powder and other supplements that people tend to rely on when they're building muscle?
That's a fair point, and it is much easier to absorb protein in terms of a shake because it's a liquid. So, but what else is also high in protein and as a liquid is
Egg whites.
And egg whites.
Okay, right, milk, sorry.
Milk.
I've been watching too much Rocky.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically that's what it boils down to.
Right.
To generalise completely, is that milk is a liquid, and that's why the protein in the milk is digested much more quickly, because you don't have to break it down. It's not as difficult for you to break down as like a red meat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a protein shake is. It's a liquid.
Alright, so Rach, thanks very much for taking some time out of your day to meet up with me
No worries.
and the gang to talk about all things food. Definitely dropped some good knowledge about stuff that I wasn't aware of, and some very good tips that hopefully you picked up on. And I'd just like to say thanks for your time. And if people wanted to get in touch with you to get more information about how they can start eating healthy for themselves, what's the best way to do that?
The best way is to either visit my website, or if you want direct contact, you can phone or email me. Which I can leave with you.
Yeah, sure. What's your website?
www.activenutrition.com.au.
There you go. All right. Okay. Thanks again,
Craig.
Rachel.
No worries.
All right. High five.
High five.
Yeah.
Good luck.